They say the kitchen is the heart of the home, but sometimes it can feel like the most cluttered, messy, and overwhelming space in the house. My name is Oksana, and in today's video, I'm going to show you guys some practical ways to simplify this space. So the very first thing that I like to do, I call this the commitment stage, but it's taking everything out of the cabinets or the pantry or whatever space you're working with and giving it a really good clean, wiping everything down, getting all the crumbs removed. Then I suggest you taking 3 boxes, the donate box, the trash box, and the selling box. I know other YouTubers say this is like the time will tell box, but for me that just becomes traveling clutter. So personally, I don't like that, even though that works for a lot of people. The next step that I like to call is the acceptance stage. Psychology class. Just like in the natural, the same thing in the kitchen. So it produces anxiety, inspiration, or sometimes it just produces a sense of like, ugh. But really, the kitchen is a place where a family grows, where skills are learned. I love you. I'm actually working with a friend decluttering her home. And so once I really gave her the vision and the value of why we're decluttering, then we started with the easiest task. For me personally, it's a junk drawer. There's really not a lot of valuables in here, but it really brings a lot of mess if it's not dealt with properly. Some other really easy parts to start with is if it's not the junk drawer, under the sink, anything in the fridge. Those are things that I feel like are really easy to do. They don't have a lot of valuables to them. The next thing that I would suggest is moving into like the functional space, like your morning station, your dishes, your everyday go-to needs, because those are typically how the family functions. With the functional space, I like to go ahead and group everything together. This for me just makes sense. So even though it might not be totally beautiful, as long as it's functional and works for you and your family. Another thing I would suggest, writing down things that the space could use, ways to beautify the space, and things that you maybe need to replace, and having that kind of on the side so when the next budget time comes around, you can replenish those things. Or utilize your selling box and use everything of value there to replenish your kitchen right back. That brings me to my next point, the kitchen appliances and kitchen gadgets. I always ask myself, have I used this in the past year? A lot of times in my head, I justify how I will use it or I want to use it, but the reality is that is precious real estate for something else. And so anything that you haven't used, even if it's a valuable or it was expensive or whatever, you're not wasting money by throwing it out or selling it. You actually already wasted the money when you bought it. And I think that's a really, really good mindset to have. I don't know. Decluttering can be hard work sometimes. And in regard to kitchen gadgets, for me personally, if it's like under $20, I just go ahead and toss it. Those kind of things. Now, if your family uses them often, then keep them. Don't throw things away just to throw things away. So in the process of helping out my friend, she had a lot of pans and pots that she wasn't using and that was constantly taking up space that she really needed. And so what we ended up doing is just taking everything out and only keeping 2 of the pans, 2 of the pots, and utilizing that space for something that's more valuable that she does use. It's also good to know that while you're decluttering, go ahead and take that space, keep clearing out your counters. Sometimes you can move from one thing to the next and then create more clutter or make it feel more chaotic than it needs to be. So go ahead and move it into those boxes, move it into those donation piles, the selling boxes, the trash. Keep your counters clutter-free and go ahead and put back what you've already done and it is out of your mind. And it's totally okay to take breaks as you need it, to kind of just get a reset, notice the clarity, the sense of peace, and the relief that you feel, and keep going. Now, if you are totally done for the day, you can always pick this up another day. It is your home after all, and spending a couple hours or a couple days is totally worth the months and years of peace to come. And just a reminder that decluttering and minimalism only works if you're not going out and just buying stuff to fill up those empty spaces. I think it really starts with that mind shift, because you are only wanting to replenish things that you actually need, maybe that have been broken or defective, or you just want a newer model of it. And with that being said, replacing or adding a product that you need or might help your family function better is a wonderful thing. And so don't be afraid to buy things after you've thrown away things. As I was helping my friend declutter her kitchen, I was just so proud of her because I just kept encouraging her that all of these things in your home are valuable. So I'm not discounting that it's not valuable, it's just not functional for your family. And the reason that you may grab more cups or more plates or more bowls is simply because they're there, because the other ones are dirty and you don't want to wash them. It just becomes more dishes for you to clean and it takes away freedom and time from you. I think it's really, really important to note that what's more important is your mental health, your cleanliness of your home, and just the atmosphere of feeling peace. And mamas, don't be afraid to let your kids play with the stuff that you are tossing. Decluttering and cleaning are just such great habits habits to teach your children, and by doing them yourself, you're actually providing a really, really great lesson for them. So once you've gone through like your appliances, your gadgets, your junk drawer, your functional spaces, then you can really just kind of do a final swoop and narrow down if you need multiple sets of things. For me, I don't need 2 cookie pans, 4 casserole dishes, and so I usually just cut that number in half, and that is what I keep. Now, if there's something that's valuable to me, then I will go ahead and just half those and put aside the remainder, maybe further away or kind of in a higher to reach cabinet, and pull those out if I have guests to entertain. So with a simple and practical kitchen, you can spend less time feeling anxious and cluttered and overwhelmed, and you can spend more time doing what you love with the people that you love. You can spend more time getting creative in the kitchen and hosting. And so if you can put the hard work in now, you will be so much happier for it. My kitchen is clean. And if you're like really liking this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That means so much to me. And comment below which of these tips were helpful to you, or maybe anything else that you might want to add on. I would love to hear from you.